There are roughly 100 billion stars in our galaxy alone. The universe has been around for 13.8 billion years. That's more than enough time for life to rise, spread, and fill the sky 1,000 times over. So here's the question that should keep you up at night. Where is everybody? We've been listening for decades, the most sensitive ears humanity has ever built. And the universe has answered with nothing.
But what if that silence isn't an accident? What if it's a decision, and we're the ones being kept in the dark? Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll never look at an empty night sky the same way again.
This question has a name. Physicists call it the Fermi Paradox, after Enrico Fermi, the man who helped build the atomic age, then sat down to lunch one day and basically asked, if the galaxy should be crowded, why does it look so empty? For 70 years, the smartest people alive have thrown answers at this. Maybe life is rare. Maybe civilizations destroy themselves. Maybe we're just early. But there's one answer that's quietly become the most unsettling of them all. It doesn't say they're gone. It says they're here, watching. And they've made a rule. It's called the quarantine hypothesis. And in 2026, with more listening power than any generation before us, the fact that we still hear nothing makes this idea harder to dismiss than ever. Let me show you why. First, you have to understand just how loud the universe should be. There's a chilling little piece of math here. If even one civilization, anywhere, learned to build self-replicating probes, machines that travel to a star, build copies of themselves, and send those copies onward, they could explore the entire galaxy in just a few million years. A few million years sounds like a lot, but against the age of the galaxy, that's a lunch break. It's the blink of a cosmic eye. So the galaxy should already be colonized, visited, touched, and yet, nothing. No probes, no signals, no ruins on the moon, no message in the sky. Scientists call this the Great Silence. And here's the open loop I want you to hold on to. The silence is too perfect. In a universe this big and this old, perfect silence isn't natural. Perfect silence looks engineered. Back in 1973, an astronomer named John Ball proposed something deceptively simple. What if advanced civilizations know we're here and are deliberately leaving us alone? He called it the zoo hypothesis. Think of how we treat a wildlife reserve. We don't march in and announce ourselves to the animals. We watch from a distance. We let them develop naturally, undisturbed. The quarantine hypothesis? It says the silence isn't just polite distance, it's a boundary, a line drawn around our solar system. Not a wall of stone, a wall of rules. A galactic agreement that young, volatile species like us get sealed off until we're ready. Quarantined. And think about why you quarantine something. You quarantine what's fragile or what's dangerous.
So which one are we? A species so young it needs protecting?
Or a species so unpredictable, capable of nuclear weapons within a century of inventing radio, that the galaxy decided the safest thing to do was lock the door and wait. Hold that thought, because the answer might depend on what we do next.
Now, here's where most people get this completely wrong. They hear quarantine and think prison, aliens hiding because they're hostile.
But the most respected versions of this idea suggest something far stranger and, honestly, far more hopeful. The quarantine might have an expiration date. And the moment that triggers it might be closer than you think. Stick with me, that's exactly where we're going. If there is a rule keeping them silent, then logic says there must be a condition that ends it. A threshold, a tripwire.
What would that threshold be? Most thinkers land on a few candidates. Maybe it's survival, proof we won't wipe ourselves out the moment we get powerful.
Maybe it's expansion, the day we become a true spacefaring species and step permanently off this planet. Or maybe it's the day our technology becomes advanced enough to detect them anyway. Because once a child can see over the fence, there's no point in hiding behind it.
And that's the part that makes 2026 feel different. We are, right now, building the first tools in human history powerful enough to read the atmospheres of distant worlds.
To spot the chemical fingerprints of life across impossible distances. To process the sky with intelligence we couldn't have dreamed of a decade ago. We're growing up fast.
And if the quarantine was ever going to lift, it lifts when we stop being children who can't see the fence and start being neighbors who can knock on the door. But I'd be lying if I told you this was only a comforting story.
Because the quarantine hypothesis is also a mirror. If someone out there really is watching, waiting for us to prove ourselves, what exactly are they seeing? A species that mastered the atom and pointed it at itself. That built a connected world and used it to tear at the seams. That stands on the edge of leaving its planet while struggling to take care of the one it has. Maybe the silence isn't a punishment. Maybe it's a test.
And maybe the most haunting possibility of all is the simplest one. That the quarantine isn't holding them back from us. It's holding us back until we're ready to be trusted. So I want to know what you think. Drop a comment. Is the silence protection? Or is it a warning? I read every single one, and the best theories genuinely change how I see this. And if questions like this are your kind of late-night spiral, subscribe. This channel exists to chase exactly these mysteries, and I'd hate for you to miss where we go next. So, the universe feels empty, but empty and silent are not the same thing. One is an absence. The other might be a choice. Next time, we're asking the flip side. What happens the day the silence finally breaks, and what humanity should never do when it does? Until then, keep looking up. Just know that something might be looking back.